Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Space Game Junkie Podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining me, as always, is your co-host, Jim.
Crack open a box of Yik Yak super snacks. So tasty.
I'd rather go down to Jimmy McKinnon's used Starship parts. We were just talking
People
about
be telling me like, hey Jimmy,
I
why
want
don't
to
you
make
give me a
that.
wild deal on a space?
I want to make that my text tone. Just hey, we're just talking about the. We were just before the.
We're
Right.
covered in Cheetos dust. Like
So,
flipping
what
through
year
old
is
issues
it?
of
What
PC.
year is it?
I mean,
So
that's what I do on the weekends.
The internet's already going gazanga, so I'm going to try something. I'm going to turn off all these chat windows.
Why don't you try switching to Mixer, like the real men have done?
I'm
The
using
pioneers.
I'm using Restream.io.
Going up in the
Yeah,
when you're
because
streaming during the day is smooth as
yeah,
butter.
it was great today. It was really great today, so I was really happy to see that. But yeah, you're probably right that it definitely has something to do with
See now, Brian, what you need is fiber. You need more fiber in your internet diet.
Actually, I looked around. Spectrum is the best option in my area, which I am just not happy about.
Thanks,
They-
Internet
they-
Monopolies.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
Spectrum has fiber, but they just might not have it in your area, I guess.
Yeah, they do not, which is a bloody shame. Anyway, folks, just the biggest piece of news is that X4 is getting an expansion, which is interesting because I wasn't
I
sure.
hope it's free.
It's, they have a big 3.0 patch they're selling, but like I haven't played it in a while, and I wasn't sure they'd fixed everything's back on. There we go. Yeah, the internet's still garbage. But Hunter, you probably have a stream in the morning because everyone's at work. Also, it's cooler in this room because we didn't have air conditioning. So it just makes a whole lick of sense. So yeah, that's the news. God, what's the expansion called? Oh, the X4 one. God, hang on. I can't freaking remember now. I was just looking at it too. Anyway, there's an expansion coming out for X4. I'm not sure when. And hopefully it'll make the game better, because last time I played it, it still had issues. But this is EgoSoft. They will make the game perfectly wonderful and playable, and by the time they announce the next one. So we love you, EgoSoft, but that's kind of what you do. That is kind of your MO, and we've just come to love to accept it.
It's like Stellaris. About 10 DLCs down the road, it'll be worth it.
I am Zadicus.
I don't know about that. It's one of those things where Stellaris is you get enough DLC and you're like, this is great, and then they keep putting out more. You're like, no, stop! It's getting worse now.
But
you are bell curving the goodness of this game.
That is kind of what I'm a little
Or it's a
bit
sine
worried.
wave.
That is kind of what I'm a little worried about with this new Age of Wonders game, since it's now a Paradox joint. But hopefully they'll let Triumph do what they've done before, is just 3 really solid expansions, and that's it. I'm fine with that. Just do that. For God's sakes. I really hope they don't pull in 10 years, Age of Wonders Planetfall will still be getting DLC. God, I hope that doesn't happen. So, Age of Wonders Planetfall came out today, y'all. If we're going to date ourselves, it's August 6th. It came out today. And it's kind of funny because we're going to talk about, and full disclosure, I'm stealing this idea from 3 Moves Ahead. They do this every so often when they look back at a specific year. And I'm like, that's a great idea. Why don't we do that? That's a wonderful idea. So, full credit to them, stealing the idea. And if you don't listen to 3 Moves Ahead and you like strategy games, by the way, you should be listening to 3 Moves Ahead. It is really one of the best video game podcasts, period. They make us look like we're in a bathroom eating toilet paper. That's how stupid they make us look.
How do they know?
in terms of competence. But I thought it's, 2000. We're about to come up to the 20th anniversary of Free Space 2. I'm going to dedicate the entire month of September to Free Space 2, by the way. We're going to have a video every day about Free Space 2. And on the 30th, we're going to try and play the whole campaign. Like all day, all the way through. That's what we're going to do on the 30th, because that's when it came out. So I'm like, there are a lot of other games that came out in 99, not just space games, but a lot of great games. So I thought we'd start with space games that came out in 99, and it was kind of a doozy that year. I mean, we got Free Space 2. We also got the last of the X-Wing games, Alliance. That came out earlier in the year. And I don't know. I had finished Alliance by the time Free Space 2 came out. But I still have mixed feelings about that one because of all the goddamn family stuff.
Yeah, I liked it. But
I know
again,
that was the first one you played. I know you have a soft spot for it. I totally get it.
Once I found the magic skip button, it was all good.
Yeah,
Because you totally can skip missions, and I did.
that was really smart on their part. I just kind of wish the multiplayer was as fleshed out as X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. We'd probably play it a lot more.
Well, yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, because the way X-Wing versus TIE Fighter did it was it actually had the series of missions that you could do like in a row. Where if you wanted to do that next Wing Alliance, you'd load up a mission, then you go back to the lobby screen, then you'd have to load up the next mission, go back to the lobby screen. As where it was kind of like, if you do it in X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, they've already got that stuff just kind of like, it's like you're playing like playing a real campaign. You don't have to keep going back to a lobby screen.
How do you guys feel about returning to that? I've been trying to get in touch with Westman about.
I would actually like to give it another go. I do need to get find this cable for my HOTAS. Honestly, think we should try and give it another go.
Okay.
And in that regard, we could all stream together.
Right. I was thinking because David Westman, he's like in Norway or whatever, so we'd have to probably do it like early on a Saturday morning to make it worthwhile for him. But I think if we can get him to join us, I think that would make it a lot better.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Sure.
So that's something I think we need to try. But goddamn, but X-Wing Alliance it did do a lot right. I mean, it had the best UI of all the games, and it actually made sense to fly with the cockpit off. That was actually it actually finally worked in that game. It didn't quite work in X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. It definitely didn't work in X-Wing or TIE Fighter. So it's good that they finally got that around. But yeah, of course, Free Space 2 came out that year at the end of September. We also got Descent 3, which I hate to say it is probably the weakest of the Descent games. I don't know about you guys.
Wasn't a huge fan of it.
No, and the expansion didn't really make it any better either. We also, but it's kind of funny because I was just talking about X4. That's when X came out. Was 1999. That was when the first X came out. I've been tempted to go back. I saw that on the list. I'm like, I wonder what it's like to go back to the first X game and try and play what is probably a UI monstrosity today. Because even back then, you're looking at it, you're like, wow. Do you guys remember playing the first X game, Beyond the Frontier? At all?
Yeah, it was some years ago.
It was that game.
Tried to. I couldn't get it to run.
Oh no! It was yeah, that game was. Oh, I didn't change the thing for the streams. It's still saying Age of Wonders Planetfall. Whoops! I gotta fix that.
Yeah.
Whoops! I gotta fix
It's
that.
okay.
It's been a weird week.
It's okay, man.
I will fix that right
It
now.
won't change unless you stop and restart the stream.
No, apparently it will. It did. I did that this morning on Twitch,
Yeah,
and
it
it
worked this morning.
changed.
Oh.
It
Well,
did.
they've upgraded the platform since I left.
You don't do
Last
Twitch? Oh. Why don't you tell the...
Okay, go ahead.
No, you
Yeah.
want...
We had a hard eject from Twitch. There's, yes.
Now, what
Yeah,
happened?
I did some experimenting, and so Twitch's ingest rate is like 3,000 kilobit tops, and I had it up to 10 megabit on Microsoft last night. It was ridiculous, and I was playing Rebel Galaxy at 2560 by 1440, full 60 frames a second with not a bit of lag and maybe 2 seconds of delay.
Yeah, the other thing too was he was streaming Arma, which Arma is a resource-intensive hog of a game on a PC, and I was watching his stream of it, and it was so smooth. Like I compared
The grass
to like,
didn't
watching it on
even
Twitch.
pixelate.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. The other thing too is I'm just gonna leave it at this. When you compare and contrast the terms of service between Twitch and what Mixer's doing, I really like the quality of what the Mixer people are trying to do, like the standards that they're trying to set, and I really so it seems like a platform that I would rather enjoy more than on Twitch. Now Twitch has that Prime integration stuff, which is nice because you get the cool like loot bonuses. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that Microsoft is doing with Mixer right now that as a new streamer trying to set things up. Now Twitch is starting to integrate some of these things too, but I think that Mixer's dashboard is easier to navigate. There's less crap all over the place. They already have the built-in like reward system for viewers, so like you don't have to set that up for yourself with your own bots. Like it's already built into Mixer's platform. So it's a lot cleaner, a lot smoother, better stream quality. It's got a lot more going on, and especially with the recent deal with Ninja, I think you're going to see a lot more people migrating over there.
Well, that's good because I use Restream.io to stream to Mixer, and I'm excited that more people will be able to use that because apparently it's technically it's a great platform, but like hardly anyone uses it compared to Twitch or YouTube, Twitch especially.
Well, they got 500,000 new users whenever Ninja came over.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
In a day. One day.
Holy
500,000
garbage.
people subbed to his channel.
Holy garbage.
Yeah, it was
That's...
worth the however many millions they paid him.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. This is a huge boon for that for that guy. No, Ninja.
Well,
is his name apparently.
Yeah. Well, anyway, sorry to kind of say.
No. I mean, come on, we're gonna have tangents. I mean, that's what this show is. We might as well just call it the. Okay.
I'm watching the trailer for Blast Axis right now. It's like Descent, but your ship is a giant chainsaw.
Yeah.
It is literally a chainsaw with guns on it and rockets on the back.
Because I got a cop. I got that. I'm gonna have to play it because that sounds fun. Blast Axis.
Yeah, there's a demo that's free.
Oh, I'm gonna have to play that Blast Axis. That sounds like a lot of fun. Because who doesn't love a good Descent clone? Well, apparently not a lot of people because Overload didn't do great.
Which is unfortunate because
it's a crime. It's a crime.
It's the perfect Descent.
It is such a crime because that game is so good. It's so good. But yeah. So what else did we have in 1999? Well, frickin' Homeworld. Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
Beginning
God.
of a legacy.
Like,
now, it is arguable that Homeworld 1 was better than Homeworld 2.
A lot of people think that. I agree. Homeworld 2, like it looked slightly better, and it had a slightly better UI, but like gameplay, it was so compared. I love Cataclysm. That's my favorite one because I love that mothership. But compared to that and Homeworld 1, Homeworld 2 was so boring. Like, I didn't last long with that one at all. Like, But Homeworld 1 was like everyone was like, "Oh my god, Homeworld. Homeworld. Oh my god, Homeworld." It's like that wasn't the first 3D RTS, I think, but it was like the first one that made it actually work well. Right? Was there another one before that? I don't. Anyway, it actually made 3D accessible to a point. Like there's a reason a lot of space RTS games are 2D still.
Yeah, I do think the 3D environment that Homeworld, especially Homeworld 2, offered, because with our last podcast we talked about, there's actually, I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but there's a total conversion mod that basically turns Homeworld into somewhat of a 4X that you can play.
What?
Yeah, I forget what they call it. I need to look it up.
That sounds kind of awesome. But yeah,
I wish there was a game that was like an MMO, but it was Homeworld, but you only controlled one ship. It would kind of be like EVE Online, sort of, but better.
There's some folks that are trying to do that. Like, what was that, Starborn?
Well, imagine playing.
Starborn was different though.
Mm.
Hold on, real quick. Starborn is a live action 4X game. So you essentially play as one person, and it's got a real time mechanic. So like the further something is away, the longer it takes to get there in real time. So like if you wanted to go, say, like 4 sectors away, it might take 8 hours for your ships to get there. So you do that, and then you come back and check the game later. And like you can play with like hundreds of other people on the same server. It's quite interesting, really. But anyway, Jim, you were saying what you wanted?
I have no idea what I was saying.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But you're talking about like
controlled by an individual person, but you still have to fly as a team, and the resource guys have to resource their stuff, and right. So it would be like a little MMO in a phone booth.
That does sound interesting. It's almost like take Fractured Space but add resource class.
Yeah, like Squad.
Sure.
Yeah, so it'd be like you could organize into wings, which would be like 5 ships or whatever, and you'd have a wing leader, which would be your squad leader, like Squad, and you could do some ridiculous stuff. Honestly, I think, just in an enclosed map, area of
Planet
space.
side, but with ships.
Yep, that would be pretty good. Although I don't know. I like PlanetSide 1 a hell of a lot more than I like PlanetSide 2. Not that there's anything super wrong with PlanetSide 2, but yeah, PlanetSide 2. Well, they've made a lot of changes lately. I haven't played it since before they did it. But the way that it was kind of like you could just take one of those spawn buses and park it outside the base and just like endlessly spawn troops into the base, and they were endlessly spawning defenders. So it became like just mass casualties in a doorway for the endurance of, that kind of thing. I didn't really dig that. And I think they specifically addressed that problem in the last round of patches, where they just said, okay, if the base is under siege, you can only, do so much there, which I prefer. But honestly, like PlanetSide had the potential to be like Battlefield, yet sci-fi on a big scale, like multiple different battlefields across a big map kind of thing.
Right.
But they just never quite got it. But the original PlanetSide was much more of that than the new one, I think. It's like the gameplay is great, but the map was funky. And I like the old.
Can you go back and play the first one? Or is it
It's long dead.
See, that's kind of what I like about the Guild Wars people, is like, yeah, they got Guild Wars 2 running, but you can actually go still play Guild Wars 1 if you want. Which is
it's the same account info too.
Yeah, I know. They were selling the entire Guild Wars collection for like $20 a couple of weeks ago, so I bought it. And I was surprised to see that a lot of people are playing, and
yeah, well, it's kind of like EverQuest in that regard, right? Like EverQuest.
Yeah.
still freaking exist. They're not dead yet, whereas so many other MMOs have come and gone.
Right.
And like bigger named IP MMOs too, so it's kind of interesting.
Like Asheron's Call that came out in 1999. They're
I was gonna
both
say
dead.
even Star Wars Galaxies. So like,
thank God we could still play that one. Thank God people have emulated those. Sort of.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's good enough to pass as the real thing, but it's not exactly the real thing. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
It's not 100% the real, like, because like there's things about it too, where like you go on an emulated server run by somebody else, and you're like, here's an instant level 90 token, have fun, go play, and you're just like, oh, I guess I don't have to do any work. Like, I think that's the thing that I miss about like the classic MMOs is the grind, because that was kind of what kept you in, was the grind.
Yeah, I don't mind the grind if it's fun. My MMO of choice these days is Lord of the Rings Online, and there is a grind to it, but it's such a fun grind. I find it so satisfying and relaxing. I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that. But make the grind fun. Unlike Elite Dangerous, where you don't get in, you're not in there very long, and then this grind is meaningless and not that fun. So I think I'm done. We're done, y'all. Oh my God, guys, can you not?
Cat's done too.
Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, the cat punctuated that.
Yeah, they're still not fully getting along yet. It's really cute though. The younger one, the new one, is grooming. It's funny, he's like meowing that he doesn't want it, but he's not like Matilda.
He's not punching back.
He's not. He's just sitting there and taking it. But
So the older cat decided that it's mom.
Not yet.
It's trying to mother it.
I have a feeling it's gonna get there.
It can take like a month or something. How long have you had it?
2 months.
You're doomed. Just get rid of that cat.
No, I think one of the reasons there's still issues is because of the huge age difference. Like, we thought this cat was 2 when we got her. We found out she barely is 1. So she's basically a kitten, and we paired her with an elderly cat.
Right, which is why I thought like the whole motherhood thing would kick in, but they're working.
It's working on
my cat was weird, right? Like when I had the dog, and the cat bonded with the dog, and I couldn't pick my own cat up. Like if I'd try to pick the cat up, it would just bolt.
Aww.
And wanted nothing to do with being petted or anything. It was all about the dog. It was the dog's cat. And if you would go over there when the cat was laying on the dog, you could pet the cat. But it was like that's the only time you can get near the cat.
Aww.
So now that the dog's gone, I can't get the cat off of me. Now I have replaced the dog. So the cat is constantly on me. Like I'm sitting in front of the computer and the cat's like, on my chest laying. And makes it a bitch to fly flight sims though.
Now they're fighting. Come on, go away.
So basically, sometimes be careful what you wish for, because I wished that the cat would be more affectionate, and now I can't get it off me. She
is fairly affectionate, but she had a weird, like she had kittens really young, and then she went through a bunch of shelters before we found her. So she's had kind of a traumatic, weird life so far. So we think she just can't settle yet. Like she doesn't know when she's going to be taken to the next place. So, and she probably doesn't trust us yet. So we're going to give it time, of course. This has been Cat Talk with Brian and Jim.
Cat chat.
Cat chat. Call us at 818-555-1212 to ask your cat questions.
Because your other co-hosts don't exist. You never introduced themselves.
Didn't I?
It's true. Tangents.
Did I not? I'm sorry. Spaz and Hunter, you guys. I'm sorry. Again, My brain.
Good.
But what's funny, what's funny about it was you kept that game going by talking about another podcast that you and Jim are starting apparently live on the. And Spaz and I are like, well, I guess it's time to go.
It's Cat Chat with our hosts, Millie and Sparky.
Oh my god!
It's really not a big deal.
I am sorry though. My brain is.
No, it's fine.
My brain is
what if
not.
What if there was like a Twitch chat show that was just two cats and a microphone, and they just sat there for like an hour? They didn't even talk. It was just two cats sitting in front of a microphone. It's Cat Chat. Slow news day. You'd get hits, man. They'd throw bits at those cats all day.
Well, remember, I used to be a moderator for cuteoverload.com when they had a chat room still. And for several years, I was one of their moderators. That was, a decade ago.
Oh, jeez. Oh, so yeah, tangents, folks. We love them here at the Cat Chat podcast. That's our other new show.
Well, we did have a podcast with the developers of Space Cats with Lasers.
Whatever happened with that?
That's true.
Whatever happened with that one? Did we look that up and find out they're still working on it? They're just really quiet, or is that the food game? The one with
that wasn't the
muffin.
food thing.
Well, I wanted to kind of. I know I'm gonna get us back on course here for just a second. These games from 1999. So how many of them are still relevant today?
Are we talking just the space games or all the games?
Well, we can talk about all the games, but like if you look at the space games, if you take Free Space 2 for example, with all the mods and stuff that go on with that,
right?
Yeah,
no, of course. I would say X is totally still relevant because they're still making that series.
Yeah, true.
I'd say Independence War is still relevant because no one's really made a game like that since, and it's still pretty damn unique. Let's see. So that's Space. Oh, and Starfleet Command. I would call that one relevant. That came out in '99.
That's fair.
Yes.
But let's see. Let's look at this. Wikipedia has a very handy list of notable releases from 1999, and there are a butt ton. So let's see. Well, Age of Wonders, clearly. Unreal Tournament, obviously. Because goddamn. Which Tomb Raider was the last revelation in that series? Is that like it's the fourth one. Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. I would say that one has long arms. They're still making.
Definitely the name Rainbow Six has carried on because you have Rainbow Six Siege now, which is
right.
The Tom Clancy is kind of a still an in progress IP in the video game sense. Because you've got the Division games, then you also have Wildlands and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, so I think SWAT 3 would probably fall into that same kind of milieu. Oh, well, obviously System Shock 2. Geez.
Yeah, they've HD remaked that, didn't they? Didn't they finish
Yeah. I don't know if it's done, but...
no, they're still working on it. They got like part way into it, and then they realized that they'd made it too modern, and nobody really liked that, so then they started all over.
Roller Coaster Tycoon is a big one because they're still like trying to recapture that magic. Let's see.
Just a quick callback for a second. Yeah. After doing Space Cats with Lasers, Bid & Toast Games went on to make Garden Paws, which Brian and I have played.
Oh, really? That's those people.
Wow, I had no idea.
I didn't either.
I didn't know that we knew those guys, so...
I didn't either. That's really funny. Homeworld clearly has leg. Oh, Jagged Alliance 2. Like, so many games that have come out since then that are like Jagged Alliance, or all the Jagged Alliance offshoots have been like
attempts at reboots that have failed miserably, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're trying to recapture that magic, and have failed miserably. Let's see. Heavy Gear 2, Harvest Moon 64, EverQuest. We did talk about that one. Driver. Was that an open world like driving game? Kind of like GTA. I never played the first one.
Yeah, remember Driver San Francisco?
Oh God, yes. I love that game so
is.
much. But I never played. That was the only driver game I ever played. Was that one? Let's see. Counter-Strike. Oh shit. Well, there you go. Show's done. We don't have to talk about anything else because frack.
Yeah, that's an interesting one on many levels because
it's
over
still
time,
going.
Valve continued, to develop that into, a kind of an esports thing to where between that and Dota 2, they're racking in the cash.
Right. Yeah, and so I mean, what else we had that year? Well, Battlezone 2 was great. Asheron's Call was really great. Age of Wonders, how funny. And Age of Empires 2. Yeah, those two games alone.
Age of Empires 2, my God. What's interesting though about Age of Empires 2 is the spin-off like games that came from that same engine, so it was like an Age of Empires-y game.
Yeah, like the Star Wars thing.
I was going to say the Star Wars one. That was actually pretty
Battlefront? Was it Battlefront?
Battlegrounds.
I never played that one because I heard it wasn't very good.
If you've played Age of Empires, you've played this.
It didn't have any space stuff, so I was like, whatever.
It was like a Star Wars mod for Age of Empires.
It could really have been a mod, honestly.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, there were some mods for it that were pretty freaking funny.
It didn't look good, so I just never even bothered with it. I'll be honest with you. But God, yeah, Asheron's Call we talked about, Alien vs Predators. That's still kind of going. Like people still play.
The Alien vs Predator thing's interesting too because of the GOG Galaxy. That was GOG Galaxy's first.
Right, that's right.
First one they did.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's very true.
That was their multiplayer like experiment with GOG Galaxy.
And I mean, we could have a whole show about Nintendo games. I mean, we were talking before the show. Those were the first. That was when the first Mario Golf and Mario Party came out. For God's sakes.
What? Who?
Be quiet. And the first Super Smash Brothers came out that year.
It's Mario and Luigi, right?
You know what? I'm from
Mario.
I'm from freaking Philadelphia. We pronounce things a little.
A2 Brute. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that is. Hey, did you eat yet? No, did you? And it is not South Street, which is a big thing. It is South Street. SOUF Street, one word. So things are pronounced a little differently in Philly. And so that's where I learned Mario. And yeah, I know. My wife, I told you, my wife still gives me crap about it. So yeah. So let's break off into another tangent. Let's because the 90s were like a legendary decade for gaming. Like 1990 alone started with Wing Commander, for example. And what else came out that year? Because Jesus. Yeah. Secret of Monkey Island. Dr. Mario. Metal Gear Solid 2. So just the 90s alone. Railroad Tycoon, for God's sakes. But I hinted at this before, but what would you guys say are like the biggest years of the 90s? Like the most important years
in terms of games.
Yeah, in terms of games, yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'll have to double check. I want to say it's a toss up between like 96 and 98 maybe.
Yeah, it was 94 for me.
Yeah, 94 was huge. PC. Yeah, 94 was huge because you had TIE Fighter. Darkstalkers came out that year. I love Darkstalkers.
Well, there was TIE Fighter.
Earthworm Jim.
When did Wing Commander 2 come out? That was 93.
No, it was 92. Wing Commander 3 came out in 1994.
Okay, so it was, 3. So I had Wing Commander 3, TIE Fighter, XCOM came out that year.
Yep. SimCity 2000 came out that year.
Yeah. Well, I was Doom with a capital D.
Doom 2.
1996, you had Duke Nukem 3D, you had Mega Man X3, you had Civilization 2, you had Rise 2, Mario RPG, which was a good one.
Mario.
Oh, gosh.
Mario RPG.
You guys.
You also had Quake, you had Mario 64, which was
Metal Slug. Oh my God, Metal Slug. Yeah, Resident Evil. Oh my God. Simcopter.
Tetris Attack.
Ooh, Simcopter.
Pilot Wing 64. 96 was a good year for the 64.
Daggerfall. Daggerfall came out that year. Oh my God, the Neverhood. Jesus Christ.
It was a super Diablo hot couple of years.
1996.
Oh my God.
It was a super hot couple of years there, 94 to 96.
Yeah, because
then I feel 97 was a lull, a little bit of a lull, and then 98 and 99 were also.
Well, let's not forget 95. You had Dark Forces, Chrono Trigger, Bust a Move.
God, give me more of that Dark Forces and
Mech Warrior 2. Holy crap. The first Rayman game. Tactics Ogre. Let Us Clean Together.
They made a game after that TV show sitcom.
Wait, which one? What?
Sorry, bad joke. Really bad joke.
Everybody loves Rayman.
Yeah. Worms came out that year. Really? But yeah, I mean, for me, my money is on 1998 because Battlezone, Star Wars Rebellion, Descent, StarCraft, Warhammer Dark Omen, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, another 94 was Terminal Velocity.
Oh, was that 94?
Wow.
It was.
Jeez.
95 had the original Command and Conquer.
Oh, jeez.
That was a game changer.
God damn. F-Zero X was that year. I played that on a friend's machine. Oh my God. Let's see. Dance Dance Revolution. Oh, 1998 wins for that alone.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Oh my God. For the first Rainbow Six came out that year. Wow. Caesar 3, Delta Force. Holy shit. Fallout 2. Shogo.
Did you guys see Battlezone? Because Battlezone came out in
Battlezone. 98. Yeah, Battlezone. I'm talking about 98. Yeah, 98 was, I think, the fucking year. Age of Empires. Heretic 2. Oh, my God.
What year did Darklight Conflict come out?
You know what?
Oh my God.
Half-Life came
out in 1998. Oh.
So did Half-Life. Star Siege Tribes. The first Thief game. Oh my God, Thief.
And Brood War.
Falcon 4.
Ocarina of Time.
Myth 2. Baldur's Gate. Oh, Jesus Christmas.
Yeah, Falcon 4 was a slow birth. It only took 10 years.
Only took 10 years. Yeah, they only announced that at the end of Falcon 3, which was what, 92?
No, I mean 90? From the day that Falcon 4 appeared on the shelves until it was actually playable, it only took about 10.
And a lot of modding.
Yes. BMS has basically perfected it now.
Yeah, it's made it like the ultimate thing.
They just need to reboot the whole GUI and it'll be fine. I installed BMS and then I started trying to map controls and I was like, oh my God. Because I'm too used to DCS and GUIs that actually work.
Yeah, the 90s, especially the mid to late 90s. It was like the early 90s had some stuff like
Star Siege, dude. When did freaking Star Siege come out?
I think that was 97 or
98.
Well, yeah, Star Siege Tribes was 98, but I think that came out. Hang on.
So Earth Siege was when? That was 95?
4 or 5, yeah.
1.
Hang on, I think. Yeah, let me take a look.
And then Mission Force Cyberstorm was also... Dude, yeah.
Oh, 1996 was when Earth Siege 2 came out. See, like I said, 96 was not bad.
Star Siege was 99. There you go. Cyberstorm. God, that was 96.
Well, here's a debate question for you.
Sure.
It's a hot debate.
All right.
We have a lot of games that come out these days because just the market has exploded with practically any and everybody's a gamer. You can game on all kinds of platforms now.
It's amazing.
They're not what I'd call memorable, though.
Sure, but that's the question that I wanted to ask.
But there are a lot of memorable games in this last decade.
There are, but it's kind of hard to think of them as memorable because they're so buried in the saturation. So it makes it kind of harder to and that's what I'm trying to get at is I would argue that it's easier to remember your good stuff from back then because there was only so many games that were being developed and coming out.
Right. There were fewer
good games and memorable games are coming out today. It's just harder to remember them because they're in a huge crowd.
Right. Like, what was the big release of 2014? Anybody know?
I couldn't tell you.
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at 2014 in video gaming. Let's see. Don't Starve? Really? 2014? What?
Yeah. It was 2014.
Okay, I guess. The Banner Saga, I guess.
That was a big one.
Sure. Yeah. The new Tomb Raider, I guess.
What space games hit in 2014? That's the big one.
I could look.
Did we get Homeworld remastered that year, or was that 16?
I don't remember, honestly.
I think that was earlier.
Hey, 2014, we had Elite Dangerous. You guys, that was great, right?
That game sucked.
Well, we also had Starborn Gemini 2, which was pretty good.
Right
okay, so this was a big one. South Park: The Stick of Truth came out in 2014.
Right.
That was kind of a big one that year.
But I think you're right in that so much has come out. It is easier for these big, like Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare came out in 2014. That was 5 years ago. But
the first Titanfall was out in 2014.
Oh, okay, FTL. FTL was 2014.
Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls came out in 2014, which was pretty good.
Okay. But but you can't just if I think of 1996, I could probably remember off the top of my head some games from that year.
Here's a couple more. Batman Arkham Origins, Metroid Fusion.
Right. But I think to your point, if you hadn't looked these up, would you remember 2014 at all?
Well, no, I couldn't. But here's the thing, though. I couldn't tell you exactly what years a lot of games came out in the 90s. Only that I remember them coming out in the 90s and roughly around. So I could tell you that GoldenEye, for example, came out in 1998. I could tell you that a bunch of Star Wars games came out in 1998, 1999. Definitely around the fact that
GoldenEye was
Star Wars movie. So.
GoldenEye was 97 because I was playing it.
Oh, that's
but
right.
You were close.
It got Game of the Year in 98. It got Game of the Year in 98. That's what it was. So
when did Super Bombad Racing come out?
I think that was 2001, 2002.
It was a dark time.
Yeah, can we agree that the early 2000s were a really weird time for gaming?
They weren't bad.
There were some good ones though.
I feel like
it was a lot of oddities.
I feel like gaming got weird after 95. After 2005. Because you had your really good stuff that was still coming out. Like you had Earth and Beyond, you had Star Wars Galaxies, you had World of Warcraft,
EVE
all
Online.
of those came out. You had EVE Online that came out in 2003. So you had a few things in the early 2000s that were still really solid games. You had Unreal Tournament 2004 that came out in 2004. You had Half-Life 2 that came out in 2004.
Right.
So, you still had some really big heavy hitters, but I think it was roughly around 2005, 2006, whenever the 360 came out, that's when the huge push on consoles just destroyed the PC.
Yeah, I actually took a gaming break between 2006 and 2008. I didn't play games.
But here's the other thing, though. We're looking at with the sorry to interrupt, but one of the things I wanted to hit on with this point was that if you look at 2014, a lot of the stuff on this list are remasters, director's cuts, remakes, reboot. There's a lot of that in there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like, but I honestly think like right now we're in like, it's such a good time to be a gamer right now. Like it might be the best time to be a gamer right now.
Yeah, and I'll give it that too.
And we are literally spoiled for twice.
Oh my god!
Because you can still
if you're looking for something specific. Yeah, if you're looking for something specific, it's there for you. There's a game to cater for yours, specific desires, like Galaxy Outlaw. If you were waiting for a dogfighting sequel to games of the 90s, it's coming. It's almost here for most of you to get your hands on.
Yeah.
Assuming you're not waiting for a console, because unfortunately some people are going to have to wait for that. But
so nevertheless, it's Space Rule 34. If you can think of it, there's a game up.
Well, and that's, to be honest, that is true though, because the indie game market has exploded to the point where if you are looking for something in a niche genre, it's going to be made by somebody, or you can make it now. 15 years ago, that wasn't really the case.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, and what happened 15 years ago? Steam, pretty much, in the last 15 years, digital distribution.
Well, that and to Spaz's point, to add to it, the interesting thing about the technology these days is there are more and fascinating ways to play all of the games. Like the technology is getting to such a crazy point where they're already. I mean, this has been a topic since probably 2005, 2006 when they tried to do the first iteration of game streaming with that one company. I had a beta with them. I forget their name.
No, I know what you're talking about. There was
it's on the tip of my. Anyway, they tried it back then.
Were they the folks?
Like 10?
No. There was. It was like a game you could actually play in a browser. It was Fate. It was like the first Fate.
No. I'm thinking like how Google's coming out with Stadia right now. There was a company that was doing that back in like 2005, or trying to back in 2005, 2006. I forget the name of it, but it obviously didn't work back then because, of course, bandwidth limitations. OnLive, that's the one. And
right. Oh God, yes.
And they're definitely trying to. It's kind of like VR. VR was like, "Hey, we're gonna do VR," and that was like, it sucks. But now VR is like becoming a real thing. And I think the game streaming stuff is definitely going to start becoming a real thing, especially in your coastal cities where you have higher, internet traffic.
Well, VR will become a real thing on the 14th of August.
What?
Oh yeah, because of
Oh, because
that's what I've heard people say. Like the people that played it for 5 minutes, right? And they're like, "Oh my God, this is finally the reason to have VR." It's like you played it 5 minutes, bro.
Do you mean No Man's Sky? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it legitimizes VR,
happily
that's cool.
Back in.
Oh yeah, because you have a PSVR. That's right.
Indeed.
And I have an Oculus, so I'll give it a shot too. But the interesting thing with all this is what I was trying to say was the technology though. Like I'm at a point now where I can stream my Xbox to my phone if I wanted to and use an Xbox 360 controller. Like I'm at a point where, it's just the technology to allow you to play your games almost anywhere and almost any game really for that matter is becoming possible in almost any direction you look.
I'm just waiting for those headsets from that Star Trek: The Next Generation episode. You know,
the game.
Yes, I'm just waiting for those.
That's a different type of game, Brian. We're not going to talk about it.
That's what I really want.
They showed teenagers doing that. Oh my god.
Oh my god. so progressive for the early 90s.
I mean, it was what was her fate? What was that girl's name?
Ashley Judd.
Yeah,
Ashley Judd. My god.
What a lady. You know, her and Wesley
Wasn't
Crusher.
she a country singer?
Actress.
That's Winona Judd.
Yeah, different Judd.
I thought there was Winona and Ashley, the Judds. They're in the Dixie Chicks, right?
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Country music isn't my thing.
Something, yeah. Chicks with Dixie Chicks.
Whoa.
Wow.
We almost.
There goes the monetization.
Yeah, I can't monetize anymore. Thanks, Jim. There goes that dream. Gotta go get a corporate drone
the
job
ending
again.
Of one dream. Think of it as the beginning of a.
Gotta go get
beyond the terms of service.
Oh,
there
God.
is the field of cats.
You know, have you ever looked longingly at the terms of service and wondered what's beyond the terms of service?
Dear Lord.
Termination of service?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh no. Yeah, it'll just be me.
That is what would be beyond. So yeah.
There's a short film involved in here somewhere.
It's just my hand drowning in a thing of molten metal with a thumbs up thing.
Hey, so I thought of a thing, and this is G-rated, by the way, because I'm going to mention your wife, and I'm not talking about the previous hentai-ism.
Thank you.
But what about, do you use a webcam when you stream?
I am going to start because
you could have Nicole in the background, right? Like with her violin accompanying the gameplay with super chill violin music. And she could like take requests for bits, right? And the cup will just fill itself.
I mean, turn the music for the game off and just have her like,
and have her just play whatever.
It'd be like
the days of like Elite Dangerous, with super chill violin music as you're going through the star.
So it would be akin to like
she could play Blue Danube when you dock on the violin.
So it would be akin to those old silent movies where they had a guy playing piano.
That's it. You don't talk, but you can write things on cards and hold them up in front of the camera.
I'll make everything black and white, and just have her just be like the violin.
Put on a lot of mascara.
There's no microphone.
You still have to wear your space helmet while you're doing.
I'm still figuring that out.
Helmet.
Oh, you need a collection of funny hats.
I did buy a green screen today, because that's what the patrons wanted. So that's what I'm going to give them. Yep, I'm gonna
give the patrons what they want.
Exactly. How much of a donation do I have to make to get this violin dream to become true?
I'll ask Nicole. It'll probably be about $2,000 a month. So,
what? Just take up a GoFundMe for that.
She's a pro. I'm telling you, she's a professional. This is what she does. So, it would not be cheap.
This is the violin that does the game circuit. It's Lindsay Sterling.
You know what you could do though, Brian, is you could always go and play Elite Dangerous, go up to a Thargoid and have Nicole play like the Close Encounters of the Third Kind while you're trying to investigate the Thargoid.
Hey Nicole, can you come here for a second, please?
Get that girl a mic. We'll take up a donation.
No, we're just use my regular mic. It'll pick it up. Hang on a second, folks. Thank you. The other my co-hosts here have come up with an idea. Yeah, I know. And she said, "Uh-oh," and I thought I'd throw this to you on mic, so no pressure. This is probably the weirdest podcast we have ever done. This is what happens.
But I'm going with it.
This is probably what happens when we have the barest threat of a topic and no guest to rein us in. This is what happens. Honey?
Okay.
Hi.
Uh-oh.
So,
What's up?
the idea is, since I'm getting a green screen, right? We will do it kind of like a silent movie where we don't have any. We have only like the game sound and no talkie. Just you say you can hear the game and playing your violin along.
We don't have a Wurlitzer organ. That's
No,
what you need.
no, we don't have a Wurlitzer organ.
Patreon, buy us a Wurlitzer organ. Oh wait,
And it'll be rated it'll be rated
Nice.
mature for violins.
But rated mature for
That's
violins.
such a dad pun,
Yeah.
Jim.
That's terrible.
Oh my God.
No, I like that. I like that.
Oh, you like that? That was
yeah,
okay.
I approve that pun.
Yeah, but so
Does she know Close Encounters of the Third Kind though?
Do you
I'm
know?
just saying that she could take like donation tips on the stream where people could like jukebox like, all right, here's a request.
I don't. I mean,
you don't do
mind
requests.
doing
You're
that
not a
for
busker.
videos. I don't think I have enough time to do it for.
Yeah,
You live in LA. You've never had like the busker urge to just go out in front of the apartment and just throw down your violin case. And
I don't think
see if
Nicole
the
has.
dollars-
Nicole, have you ever busked? Have you ever busked at all?
Once.
You busked once?
Yeah.
Okay, what
In
happened?
high school.
Oh, in high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
We messed up. And
Did
no
she
one
ride the
noticed.
busk
It was fine.
to high school?
Oh my
So
God.
We were sight reading stuff we had no business.
you were
reading.
sight reading stuff you had no business.
I mean,
Okay.
most of it went well, but then towards the end we were like,
Did you make any money?
I don't even remember, so it must not have been a significant amount.
Right.
Yeah.
But we could try this maybe once at some point and see if our Patreon pledges go through the metaphysical roof.
And if they don't, then they can pledge to have me not come back.
Oh,
Like,
oh.
Well, if that doesn't work, then you fall back to cat chat.
We actually made up another podcast as we were talking because we talked about they could hear Harry and Matilda fighting,
Yeah.
so we started talking about cats. So now we're gonna start cat chat
yes.
with Jim and Brian
Just
and
be
the
careful
others.
How you pronounce
Well, no,
it.
actually, I've refined this. So you put the two cats and a microphone, and then you guys hide off to the side and you do the voices of the cats, and you can have any conversation you.
Put the cats on a camera. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's They're also giving me shit for how I say Mario.
Good.
Mario.
What? Who is that? I'm so.
Some Irish woman?
Stuff. They're giving me stuff.
And his brother Ouija. Squeegee.
His brother Luigi. That's
Linguini.
God damn it. Oh, where did our chat go? We just totally lost our train. Maybe we should wrap things up. It's been an hour.
Dinosaurs.
Can wrap things up, right? Or do you want to keep going? Like, I'm fine with wrapping up because, what are we gonna? Let's wrap up. That was probably the most random podcast we've ever done, folks. But it's a weird time.
We can top that.
It's a weird time here at Space Game Junkie.
We can do weirder. We could do weirder, but we probably won't try.
Give us a week. So next week on the show, the topic is going to be, because I don't feel like doing guests right now. I've got enough pressure. So we're not going to probably have guests for a little while. Because I love you guests, by the way, but guests are pressure. And we don't...
When are we going to have the Rebel Galaxy hooligans on again?
Probably after the game hits 1.0 and they've gotten a little rest.
Oh, yeah, we need
figured.
a celebratory stream. Because my suggestion to Eric was, because he's getting like that pre-release stress out, and I'm just like, just unplug your phone, get on a boat, go to Effet Island, and then come back to read your rave reviews in a couple weeks.
I'm telling you.
Just don't sit there and watch it by the...
It's... Folks, if you haven't pre-ordered Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, by the way, it comes out in a week from today. Get over your whatever bull crap with the Epic Store and just buy the damn thing now. Because it is the best space dog fighter since Free Space 2. And
what I think should have happened is people who pre-ordered it more than a month ahead of time should get it a week ahead.
I don't think
that's
you could.
That's how I feel about
they are still fixing bugs.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying that, like, late beta.
Yeah, they're patching it.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm assisting with bug detection.
Yeah,
even now.
Yeah, but
there's very, very few. like I haven't seen a AAA game come out this polished, and so we're gonna call this the first quad A game.
I'd like to take some credit for that because I found quite a few when I got the keys
I heard you
months
were
ago.
involved down there at the bottom of the credits. Brian Rubin, whatever.
But
I'm not jealous.
Whoa, that sounds like some salt. Oh man, you want some pepper to go with that, buddy?
It got dark in here. I think the sun went behind a cloud.
No, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that you were credited in the credits.
Wait, I'm credited in the credits?
You're credited in the credits, my man.
I didn't know that. Oh my god, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, that's so nice. I didn't know that. But yeah,
now,
folks.
I will say, if you're waiting for console, okay, wait for console. But
with
if
PC,
you have a computer that can run it,
PC, you have no excuse. And if you have a PC built in the last 7 years, you can probably run this.
So let me give you some confirmations. Keyboard and mouse works really well.
It works pretty well.
HOTAS. Yeah. I have a Thrustmaster Warthog set up. Works fine.
Mm-hmm.
I am a sinner. I prefer the gamepad.
It's the best way to play it. It's the best way to play it.
I did not believe that this could even be possible.
It's the best way.
But I prefer the game.
Yeah, no, it's the best way to play this. It just feels so
because well, you know why? The thing that makes the gamepad happen is that cheating ass like autopilot chase thing where it's like chase assist or
the auto assist. I will say
the auto assist it makes the game, because the game's difficulty seems to be tuned such that you're using auto assist anyway. And it takes the whole like spatial awareness problem of, oh shit, where did he go, out of the picture, right?
Yes.
That helps a lot. And yeah, so the other thing that's really nice about the auto assist, because I struggled for a while, I'm like, where is the button that targets the enemy that's right in front of me? Because I can cycle through targets. I can pick closest target. It's the auto follow thing. If you tap that, it targets the guy right in front of you.
That does it too, but also you can tap the left bumper to lock onto a specific target. But I will say there were two other things that make the gamepad wonderful. The command menu, which puts a lot of commands in one very easy to find radial menu. It also offers quick access to the tactical map, which is probably one of my favorite things about the game. But the gamepad also allows you to easily cut inertial dampeners, which is, when you get good at using that in Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, there's almost nothing.
Battlestar Galactica Viper flip.
Yeah, you're pulling a Starbuck left and right, and it's the best thing. So
I just got the ship that's got the turret on the back, and I kind of like
Sonoma.
that.
The Sonoma, yeah.
I was surprised, I guess pleasantly, that you can jump into the turret, but I don't find myself ever wanting to sit in the turret. Like the auto gunner will probably be better than me.
Yeah.
And
the turret is great when you want to put a mining beam back there and do some mining. Just wait till you get to the Beluga with 3 turrets. Oh, wow. I love the Beluga.
I'm running the Durston right now.
The first thing
it is great.
The first thing that I went for was the Sandhawk. And the only thing that I don't dig on the Sandhawk is that the entire inside of the cockpit is red, and enemies on the radar also red. So they kind of blend into the noise that is inherent, like all the Greeble stuff that's on the scanner already, the noise, and they blend into that sort of. I would get used to it, but it's like, eh. But then I wanted to try the thing that had the fatter hull, because I was really having some trouble staying alive.
Yeah, once you get the Durston, you'll be like, it's slow, it moves like a pig, but oh my god, those turrets.
Oh my god. Did you see the Durston that somebody painted a pig face on?
Yes, I did.
They took that front and made a pig nose. Oh my god, it was.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and they are starting a website, community is. It's called like outlawpaintjobs.com or something. And people are going to just upload their paint. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, there are basically, folks, if you haven't watched the stream we did, there are 3 classes of ships in the game. And the Durston / Beluga are the large cargo haulers. And the Durston has 2 turrets. and the Beluga has 3.
So is the Durston and the Beluga essentially the same? It's kind of like the Sandhawk and the upgrade.
Well, yeah, they are variants. Like the Durston,
not just straight up upgrade. It's a variant of.
Right. The Durston has 2 missile launchers and 2 turrets and a bit more cargo. The Beluga has slightly less cargo, 1 missile launcher, but 3 turrets. So there is a trade-off. All the internals are the same, but it's the amount of missiles versus turrets that you can deal with. I have to say to Howie, holy shit! Like the explosions that's going on. Not just the explosions. Like I sat in the ship painter, just zoomed in, looking at the minute detail that's going on that flying dumpster. The struts, just the struts alone.
Yeah, there's so much detail going on in the smallest stuff.
Yeah,
and it's just like
so wonderful. It's so.
I wouldn't have done all that.
Maybe that's what we'll talk about next week. Maybe we
need to have Howie on, and we'll just talk
eventually. Like, I think they're going to.
I don't want to bug them when they're just launching.
I think they need some sleep.
Driving me nuts.
No. Now they were nice enough to come on the stream.
No, I just mean sometime in the future, not like.
Oh, right absolutely.
Okay. But
absolutely. We want.
And then once we've got him, we won't let him go until he tells us about the Wing Commander.
Yes.
Whatever he's calling it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Is that public? Whatever. You heard it here first. Now he's posted it all over.
He's posted it all over his Twitter.
Yeah, it's nothing hidden about that. But
he has a Twitter.
Yeah, folks, folks, if you haven't bought Rebel Galaxy Outlaw and you're listening to this podcast, what are you doing? Just get a loan if you're broke. I don't know. Just buy it for God's sake.
It's only $30.
It's only $30, and the amount of gameplay, I've got probably about 80 hours into it at this point, and I'm nowhere near stopping. I've finished everything. It's now just side missions and and random encounters, and just that, like, oh look, I've run into a convoy being attacked. There's 30 ships out there. I guess I'll help. And you just dive.
I think
there's
into one thing you haven't done yet.
Oh, there's one thing I haven't done. I'm
not going to say what it is, but I know what it is.
I'll say what it is. There's an asteroids game in the game. There's an asteroids game in the game that you can play at the bar. And if you beat the high score, you start a Last Starfighter style quest chain.
Oh, thank God.
And I've not been able to beat.
I was gonna suggest to them that should be there, but it already is.
It already is.
The kind of game
it already is.
This was even talked about when Travis did his first dev stream.
Yeah. So it's not a hidden thing. It's just
Suntari show up in the star car.
But it's so hard to get get close to that high score. That game gets so difficult.
Well, that's another thing that I'll say is even playing on the recommended novice level, that game is no joke.
Oh no!
Like I can get killed anytime I feel flying a little slop.
Yeah, in especially with those early ships where they don't have all the power, you really have to pay attention to your power usage. You have to be changing, what's going to what, engines, shields, guns.
Yeah.
Have you
tried it? Have you tried it on like super pro difficulty, like the top thing?
I did to test out
away all your shit.
No, I did to test out the HOTAS. Yeah, I did to test out the HOTAS. It is
because like none of the assists are there.
Nope, no aim assist.
Shittiest everything.
Yeah, no aim assist, no auto follow, nothing.
Yeah, it's like good luck with that, kid.
If you want the true private, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I saw someone coming onto the official Discord earlier today and was saying something like, "Oh, I see all these streamers. They're playing on easy mode. The game's got to be easy. Come back to me and tell me how easy it is." They're basically playing on baby mode, is what this person was saying, and this person hadn't played the game yet.
It's like shut up.
Come back crying.
Yeah, and people were saying, the reason why those are there is because they're built in. They're assuming you're using them if you're playing on normal mode. but this person was being really condescending about it.
Dude, if I just started with the radar that didn't identify friend from foe by color, I would be in a world of hurt.
It's not that bad. You just spin around a lot. It's not that bad. You just spin around a lot until you find an enemy, and then you just hit auto pursuit.
Yeah, it's like, who's an enemy? The one shooting at me.
Yeah.
So you shoot back.
Yeah, so you're basically like you're following someone, you're killing them, and then who's shooting at me next? So before they added the closest enemy thing, you would have to spin around. You would have to spin around and like, who's shooting at me? And I was like, oh, that guy.
This game also, for the first time in a game ever, has escort missions that I don't mind, because it's just like, you get close to the ship you're going to escort, you hit autopilot to link up with them, and you just autopilot off into the sunset together.
Yep.
Great. It's not like, oh, I have to keep up with them, and this is like, a long, because escort missions usually are just a time killer.
The worst.
Where it's just like, I got to putt along with this guy for half an hour, and then eventually we're going to see. Yeah, this game skips the bullshit and goes straight to like, oh, well, here's where you get attacked.
And the ships you're escorting are not completely defenseless. Like, they're all armed to a degree, so they can defend themselves if you do get jumped. So you're not. Just
and I was
like,
surprised. Like, whenever I started running into some, they're probably not the biggest cap ships in the game, but it's ships that have a number of turrets on them, right? Where you shoot the turrets off and stuff.
Are they like vertical red things? They look kind of like books with wings.
I ran into one of those, and then there was like a big blue thing that was like a giant freighter that had guns on the tail. And basically, the only way I could deal with him was I popped the turrets off and then hid in the shadow of the ship.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. The biggest ships in the game are cruisers, and they are pretty large. They're not like Free Space 2 large. Nothing is that big, but
like Star Destroyer.
I'd say they're Nebulon B frigate size. They're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty big. And they're also really tough to deal with. It's also a game of killing some of the turrets and then hiding in that blind spot until you whittle them down. But yeah, the nice thing is the police have those too, and so
cool.
The great fun is when you come into a furball and it's like several police or Commonwealth ships versus several capital ships and a lot of fighters, and the police are like, your assistance would be appreciated, sis, and you're like, oh god, fine. And next thing you know,
does it get dangerous like Free Space where you just get swatted like one hit? Pow! Absolutely. I got hit by a beam.
It's not. It depends on what you're flying. I did just to test it out. I took a Platypus, the first ship. I upgraded the equipment, of course, but I took it into a mega mission, which was about 30 some ships, and I survived. But goddamn, if that damage list wasn't like everything had been hit, everything. My armor was down to maybe 15%. Everything was damaged. I think I lost one gun.
Wow.
So if you're in a ship that isn't a Durston or a Coyote, for example, with class 4 shields, yeah, they will slap you around like nothing.
So what's the upgraded Coyote? Because there's one beyond it, right?
The Dingo. The Dingo.
When do you start seeing those? Because I haven't seen any of these.
You have
ships.
to.
There's like the stock 5.
No, you can. They're only available to you, and you only get them once you've unlocked the ship dealer in Bountiful Vista, which is the base you buy.
Okay.
So you got to do some quests. Do that quest chain, and then you unlock more stuff within.
Yeah.
The station.
You unlock better missile banks, and you unlock several ship variants that you can only get at Bountiful Vista, like the Blood Eagle. So the variants you can only get at Bountiful Vista are the Sequoia, which is a variant of the Sonoma, the Blood Eagle, which is the Sandhawk variant, the
Dingo.
When I get a Blood Eagle, I'm going to name it Shoe Boogie.
The Blood Eagle is probably my favorite ship to fly in the game, because it's like imagine something as maneuverable as the Sandhawk, but with more missiles and a better power plant. It's just, oh my god, it's a blast to fly. But
did you get the Shoe Boogie reference, by the way?
No.
From Rotor.
From
it's
what?
The Indian guy that's trying to pick up the girl. He's like, yeah, baby, let me tell you about the bloody.
No. No, I did not get that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll send you a clip.
Okay.
It's one of the best things in Rotor.
But folks, we'll be talking about Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. I almost said online. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw next week a lot because one, it's just going to come out that day. But two, I've been seeing some stuff in their Discord and their and the YouTube comments are like, what did you expect this game to be? Exactly. Like, what were you thinking this was? Like, they said specifically what this game was. And you're acting like it's something else. Like, I don't understand you. So, I want to talk about that.
I wanted it to be something else.
I'm not sure what that guy was talking about. He called it like
I don't know either.
He called it a bullet hell, like a first-person bullet hell. I'm like, what?
He's clearly high.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking.
No, I'll grant that there are some sequences in which you're going to have a whole bunch of guys shooting at you at once, and it's going to look like a bullet hell. Fair, but that's not what it actually is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, this game might almost be as good as 3030 Death War.
Oh,
I don't know if it will completely dethrone. No, but they're like twin games to me. They're in the same.
I think they're complementary.
Yeah, they really are. We were. I think in the stream we were talking about like what the best space games of the last decade are, and it's 3030 Death War, Drox Operative, and this, in my opinion, are like the best 3 space games of the last decade. It's just that good, folks. So we're probably going to be talking about a lot about that next week. Some quick show notes. Tomorrow on the stream, we're going to start the campaign in Mech Warrior 3. We're going to be
exciting.
Yeah, we're going to be playing that tomorrow morning. Thursday, the morning stream is going to be Theotown, which is a city builder that's very similar to SimCity 2000, but with modern sensibilities. And in the evening, for our usual LAN party, we're going to be giving the Pit Infinity a revisit, now that it has multiplayer. So hopefully that'll be fun. And then Friday on the...
played it yet.
No. What, you haven't played it yet?
No, we haven't actually played it.
No,
yet.
We've never played it. This will be the first time because like the first 2 times I played it, it was so unoptimized. It was like terrible. So I'm like, this needs to cook a little bit more in the oven. So that'll be fun. And then Friday on the stream, we're going to be going back to space with Interstellar Rogue. We're going to be revisiting that for the stream on Friday. So if you haven't gotten the gist, we're taking Space Game Junkie full time with daily streams and more content. This is the first week of that. So things haven't really settled yet.
Send me my W-2 so I can, start working.
Yeah, if only we made that much money. But speaking of, I want to thank all our wonderful Patreon patrons. You guys have helped us pass several goals in the last few days. One of our Patreon patrons, I had a goal where one of the goals, if we reached it, was I was going to buy an Elgato HD so you can capture like console games like PS2 and Dreamcast. Someone bought me one. A Patreon patron just bought one. How great is... I'm still verklempt about that. So, again, thank you so much to our Patreon patrons for everything you do. I love you all. And thank you, everyone who supports us by leaving a comment, watching us on the stream right now in the chat room, coming to our Discord, coming to our Facebook. The more we grow this community, the better it'll be. And once we settle into this new routine, there'll be even more content coming, more writing, more pre-recorded videos. The focus is still going to be on space, but I can't stream a space game every day. That's crazy. I will want to kill myself. So we're doing a little more variety, but the focus will still be on space overall. So we're not losing that focus.
What if we put up a Space Engineers server, and then we went like full XP gamers, where we just get in there and role play so hard.
No.
Like there's actually
can we not? I'd rather not do that. That sounds like
we could start our own Star Wars Galaxies clan.
That sounds like work.
Yeah,
okay,
Spaz.
Star Wars
Spaz,
Galaxies thing. Yes, not that other thing.
Spaz,
no.
I was about to say exactly that thing. That sounds like work, and we don't want this to be work. Not at all. So we want this to be fun.
If you want work, we'll go into Eve and try to dig Hunter out of his $22 billion.
Oh, you had to. It's a sore spot.
Guess what? Already bought back.
Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm also coming up with a way to help indie game developers using my years of SEO and marketing knowledge. I'm still working on that, but it's going to be a freelance endeavor I'll be announcing soon, so keep an eye out for that as well. So everyone, thank you for listening and for watching and being so wonderful and supportive. You guys, seriously, the Space Game Junkie community is the best. Like, every day, you all just bring us so much joy and so much happiness that there's not enough. I could say thank you until I was dead and it wouldn't be enough. So thank you. Just thank you, everyone, for being as wonderful as you are. And if you feel like it, just go to Patreon and chip in a $1. That's all. That would be great.
Those pledges add up. They really do.
Yeah, they really do. And this could eventually pay expenses. Even more content could be made. More people could be paid. So that would all be wonderful.
I was more or less joking.
I know, but would love it if it took off that much. But so yeah, folks, thank you so much for everything. And if you're listening right now live, we'll see you tomorrow for some MechWarrior 3. And if you're listening on the MP3, we'll see you for the next episode. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.